morning, students. In the last 4 YouTube classes, we had completed Unit 4. In this class, we will study Unit 5. Unit 5 has only 3 topics. This is very important. What is the 3 topics? Number 1, Election Commission of India. Number 2, National Women Rights Commission. Number 3, National Commission for Women. These 3 topics are very important. Direct questions can be asked from this unit. In this class, we will complete topic 1 of Unit 5, that is Election Commission of India. Election Commission of India can be studied by 4 questions. Introduction, this question carry 2 marks. Composition, powers and functions, and electoral reforms. First question, explain about Election Commission. Answer, the Election Commission of India was established in 1950, 25th January. Hence, 25th January is observed as a National Voters' Day. It is an autonomous constitutional body which oversees the conduct of free and fair elections in the country. This is the most important point, the Election Commission of India, and it administers control on the election conducted for the President and Vice President of India, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, State Legislative Assembly MLA, State Legislative Council MLC. So, Election Commission of India conducts election for 6 categories. Dantlo number 1, President of India, second one, Vice President of India, and third one, Rajya Sabha, fourth one, Lok Sabha, fifth one, State Legislative Assembly, sixth one, State Legislative Council. But municipalities and Panchayati Raj elections are conducted by SEC. What is the abbreviation of SEC? State Election Commission. The State Election Commission are advised by Election Commission of India. Next point, the Election Commission has been entrusted these responsibilities under Article 324. The Article 324 of our Indian Constitution, Part 15. How many total parts of Indian Constitution? 25 parts, 12 schedules, and 448 articles. This Election Commission of India, Part 15th, Article 324 and the People's Representation Act 1951. Election Commission of India gets powers from Article 324 Indian Constitution and the People's Representation Act 1951. Election Commission, the last point. The Commission is empowered under the Constitution of India to act appropriately whenever prevalent laws prove insufficient to conduct an election under certain conditions. So finally, the decision to conduct elections or to cancel elections under certain conditions, it is decided only by ECI. ECI means Election Commission of India. If you write these 4 points, it's enough for 2 marks question. Okay. Now second question, what is the composition of Election Commission of India? Composition means who are the members and what is the hierarchy system. Article 324 of the Constitution has made the following provisions with regard to the composition of Election Commission. The President appoints the Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners. At present, the Election Commission comprises of 1 Chief Election Commissioner, 2 election commissioners. Present Chief Election Commissioner Sunil Arora. 2 election commissioners, number 1 Ashok Lavasa, second one Sushil Chandra. The CEC Chief Election Commission acts as the Election Commission Chairman, and the President can also appoint regional commissioners to assist the Commission if necessary after consulting with the Election Commission. The last point here, the tenure of office and the conditions of service of all the commissioners shall be determined by the President. Next, we will see powers and functions. Completing powers and functions, we will see third question, that is electoral reforms. Now we will discuss the in fourth question, explain the powers and functions of Election Commission of India. This is the most important question in our examinations. The powers of the the powers of the Election Commission are defined in the following articles of the Indian Constitution. Article 324 to Article 329. The all articles is explain the importance of the powers and functions of Election Commission of India. So firstly we will discuss the Article 324. Article 324, superintendence, control and directions of national and state level elections are to be directly handled by the ECI, Election Commission of India. So this body conduct six type of elections which are very prestigious elections. Number 1, President of India. Number 2, the Vice President elections. Number 3, Lok Sabha elections. Number 4, Rajya Sabha elections. Number 5, State Legislative Assembly elections. And last one, State Legislative Council. India is the biggest democratic country in the world. In democracy, the people select their representatives, and for the sake of conducting the elections in the country, the Election Commission has been created. Next, Article 325. Inclusion and exclusion of names in the electoral rolls are based on Indian citizenship. It importance here, the Election Commission prepare and revises the electoral rolls, means voter list. Okay, next, no citizen of India above the voting age should be excluded from the rolls. Rolls means voter list, are included in the special electoral roll or electoral list based on any criteria such as race, caste, religion or sex. It means no special privileges for anybody. He may be rich or poor, all are treated equally. Article 326 defines universal adult franchise as the basis for the election to all levels of the elected government. Universal adult franchise means every citizen of India who has age of 18 years and above are eligible for voting right irrespective of race, caste, religion or sex. Before 1989, universal adult franchise is 21 years. In 1989, voting age is reduced to 18 years by 61 constitutional amendment. Article 327 defines responsibilities of the Election Commission of India and Parliament for the conduct of national elections. Article 328 defines the role and responsibilities of the state legislatures with respect to the state level elections. Particularly, Article 327 gives guidelines for national elections, and Article 328 gives the guidelines for state elections. Article 329 prohibits court interference in matters related to elections unless specially asked to provide their views. The powers of Election Commission can be studied under three headings. Number one, administrative powers. Number two, advisory powers. Number three, quasi-judicial powers. First one, administrative powers of the Election Commission. The Commission has been empowered to function in accordance to the Delimitation Commission Act and define the territorial boundaries of electoral constituencies for the different elections. Next, it has been given powers to register and deregister any political party or entity. Means the Election Commission recognize the political parties. The political parties, two types. One is the regional political parties, another one is national political parties. Regional political parties like TDP, TRS, DMK, etc. And national political parties like Congress, BJP, CPI, CPM, etc. Next one, the Election Commission will notify the dates and schedules of the elections, and the Election Commission scrutinize the nomination papers. Nomination papers means like what is application forms for contesting in elections. Next, the Election Commission allots the symbols of political parties. Next, it is empowered to enforce the model code of conduct for election campaign and ensure its implementation. Actually, the Election Commission determines the code of conduct to be observed by the parties and the candidates at the time of elections. For example, like campaigning timings, election expenditure, etc. This ensures a level playing field for all the political parties, irrespective of their size and thus the capacity to spend. For example, MLA candidates should spend only 20 to 28 lakhs. MP candidates should spend only 50 to 70 lakhs. That another the last point of administrative powers of the Election Commission. It has the power to appoint officers as election observers and expenditure observers from the different departments of the civil services. Second one, advisory powers of the Election Commission. The Commission is empowered to advise the President of India regarding to disqualification of the members of the Parliament and the conditions for the same. Next point, the Commission also advised the governors with respect to the disqualification of the members of the state legislature. It means the Election Commission advised the President in the matter relating to the disqualification of the members of the Parliament, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Article 103 gives power to President to disqualify the candidates, and MLA, MLCs are disqualified by the governor. And last point, advisors powers of the Election Commission. It advises the High Courts and Supreme Court in matters related to post-election disputes between candidates and political parties. Very important note here, the post-election disputes related to the election of the President and Vice President go to the Supreme Court. Disputes regarding the Parliament and the state legislatures are referred to the High Courts. Okay. Last power, Election Commission quasi-judicial powers. The Election Commission is empowered to settle disputes regarding recognition granted to political parties and candidates. The second one, it has the powers to act as a court for matters related to disputes arising out of the allotment of election symbols to political parties and candidates. No two election symbols are the same even in different regions. Let us understand this point by an example. In 2018, during Telangana State Assembly elections, TRS party has car symbol and All India Forward Bloc party a truck symbol. Because of the similarity of symbols in many constituencies, cross voting has happened. After elections, TRS party went to Election Commission of India and complained about this issue. Later, Election Commission of India changed the symbol of All India Forward Bloc Party. Last one, it must be noted that the elections with respect to the election of panchayatis and municipalities are carried out under the supervision of the State Election Commission. The State Election Commission are in turn advised by the Election Commission of India. Last question of this topic. Write about electoral reforms in India. Answer. Electoral reforms is change in electoral systems to improve how public desires are expressed in elections results. Electoral reforms came into force on March 28, 1989. There have also been a number of committees which have examined the major issues pertaining to the reform of the existing electoral system, and they have made a number of valuable recommendations. The important among them were: number 1, Goswami Committee on Electoral Reforms in 1990, and second one, Vora Committee Report 1993. Number 3, Indrajit Gupta Committee on State Funding of Election 1998, and fourth one, Law Commission Report on Reforms of the Electoral Laws 1999, and another fifth one, National Commission to Review the Working of the Constitution 2001, and sixth one, Election Commission of India Proposed Electoral Reforms 2004, and the last committee, the Second Administrative Reforms Commission 2008. We will study the recommendations of the commissions by time frame, like before 2000 and after 2000. Electoral reforms before 2000. The first point here, lowering of voting age. The 61st Amendment Act to the Constitution reduced the minimum age for voting from 21 years to 18 years. EVMs. EVMs means electronic voting machine, first introduced in 1998 during the state elections of Delhi, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. EVMs are used widely as they are foolproof, efficient and a better option in terms of the environment. Next point, disqualification on conviction for violating the National Honours Act 1971. This shall lead to disqualification of the person for 6 years from contesting to the Parliament and the state legislatures. Next one, restrictions on contesting from more than 2 constituencies. A candidate cannot contest from more than 2 constituencies. On polling days, employees of organizations get a paid holiday, and violation of this is punishable by a fine. Next point, prohibition on sale of liquor. Okay, next point, the time limit for by-elections. By-elections to any house of the Parliament or a state legislature will now be held within 6 months of the occurrence of the vacancy in that house. For example, if MLA or MP of the constituencies is dead, then the by-elections should be conducted within 6 months. Next point, electoral reforms after 2000. The ceiling on election expenditure. The Commission has put a cap on individual candidates spending for the Lok Sabha elections 50 to 70 lakhs and 20 to 28 lakhs for an assembly elections, and restriction on exit polls. Next, voting through postal ballot. Now there are 6 categories of voters who can use the postal ballot: service voters, special voters, wives of the service voters, and special voters, including persons subjected to preventive detention and persons on election duty. Awareness creation. The government decided to observe January 25th as a National Voters' Day to mark the Election Commission founding day. To increase voting percentage, Election Commission observes January 25th as National Voters' Day to create awareness. Political parties need to report any contribution in excess 20,000 to the Election Commission for claiming income tax benefits. Next, introduction of nota. The nota means none of the above. ఇప్పుడు మనం కాంటాక్ట్ చేసిన అభ్యర్థులు ఉన్నారనుకోండి, పై వాళ్ళు ఏబిసిడి ఇట్లా కాంటాక్ట్ చేసిన అభ్యర్థులు ఎవరు నచ్చలేదు అనుకోండి, పై వాళ్ళు మనం కింద నోటోకు ఓటు వేసి రావచ్చు. నెక్స్ట్, ఇంట్రడక్షన్ ఆఫ్ వివిప్యాట్, ఓటర్ వెరిఫైడ్ పేపర్ ఆడిట్ ట్రయల్. నెక్స్ట్, అనదర్ లాస్ట్ పాయింట్, ట్రాన్స్పరెన్సీ ఇన్ ఎలక్షన్ ఫండింగ్, ఎలక్టోరల్ బాండ్స్. Thank you, students. We will complete remaining topics NHRC and NCW in next class.